My name is Kwesi Daniels, and I am a teacher. Or as my students would call me, Professor Daniels. I have to take a second and thank them because what they have done is given me an opportunity to answer a question that has plagued me for a number of years. And that question is, how do we rethink the way that we educate our students to address the everyday social issues that are important in their lives? Because you see, students can access the sum of human knowledge from the palm of their hand. This means that my responsibility to them as a teacher has to change. It has to go from being the #1 source of knowledge to one that points them in the right direction to solve the issues that are important in their lives. Everyone in this room and all those that are on the internet now watching can recall a time, I'm sure, when you were sitting in class saying, why am I learning this? This has absolutely nothing to do with what I care about or what I see when I look around my own communities. As a professor of architecture at Tuskegee University, I was often dismayed at the fact that while we were discussing these issues in class, and our students were developing really novel ideas to a lot of social issues, these issues were not really being implemented in the surrounding community. And I was concerned because our students were not being engaged. And so I decided that, rather than stay in the class, we're going to jump out into the community and actually engage the community. And so one of the first projects that I did this with was one in which the Department of Architecture teamed up with the Department of Social Work and Occupational Therapy. And we tasked our students to design a home for a client with a disability. And because previously I realized our students were not sensitive to the needs of the residents of the local community, we said that you have to become sensitive to the needs of your client. And so what we said was, you need to walk around campus as your client would experience it with a disability. And so we blindfolded some and stuck earplugs in others. And as a professor, I'm here to tell you, I was really surprised at, that's me. I was surprised at the results. And I knew that I was on to something when one of the students came up to me and she said, Professor Daniels, this is actually the first time I've ever utilized the campus as a learning tool. I was like, wow. The next project was one where I was approached by the Shiloh Rosenwald Restoration Foundation. See, they wanted to restore their Rosenwald School and have it placed on the National Registry of Historic Places. This school is one of the oldest of 4,000 schools that were built between 1915 and 1940. Additionally, it is one of the hosting sites, or was one of the hosting sites, for what's historically referred to as the Tuskegee Syphilis Study. This was a 40-year study in which the United States Department of Health looked at the long-term impact of syphilis in untreated African-American men without their knowledge. And because of this study, many of the Tuskegee students are very apprehensive of engaging the residents in the surrounding area. And so again, I said, what? We got to get out the classroom. And so for the next 8 months, we stayed at the school learning about historic restoration. And that turned into a massive community service project composed of a window restoration initiative in which students learned how to restore the windows. That brought members from the community, local universities, high school students, and alumni of the school. And then that turned into a truth and reconciliation event in which the relatives of the participants in the study came together and for the first time spoke about the impact that the study had upon their lives and how it had broken down their families. And at this point is when I realized that this had gone from being a classroom exercise, but something that was healing for the community. The same students that were apprehensive initially now became family to the community. One of my students decided to pursue a master's degree in historic preservation as a result of this particular assignment. In 2010, the school was listed on the National Registry of Historic Places. Now, the last project I want to tell you about is one that I'm currently working on with the Program for Acceleration in Computer Science at Monmouth University. This program recruits students from elementary through high school from Monmouth County, New Jersey, and teaches them computer science and mathematics. And recently I asked them, what social issue would you like to address most? And their answer is going to surprise you. They said they wanted to get rid of the Canadian geese excrement. Yes, geese poop. I said, all right. All of the students recently were impacted by Hurricane Sandy. And they also lost power during the storm. And so I said, you know what? My wheels started spinning, and I said, we could capture the geese excrement, and there's methane contained in it, so let's put that in a biodigester and capture the methane gas. We can create an alternative energy source, and we could actually do something positive, and that's what we're doing now. So we're saying, let's capture the geese poop, put it in a biodigester, and see if we can power some gas lamps and run a gas stove and do something exciting, and that's what we're doing. So the moral of the stories that I'm sharing with you is that if we utilize the classroom as more than a classroom, we actually get out in the community and engage it, we actually can develop some ideas that are strong. So let's consider how much time we have with students in a given year. That's about 1,267 hours a year. But over the course of a student's academic life, that's 16,471 hours of schooling between kindergarten and high school. And so I have to ask you, are we utilizing their time most effectively? And unfortunately, I have to say no. Because when you look at around most states, the dropout rate is between 20 and 40%. Students are clearly voting with their feet, saying that all too often what they are learning has absolutely nothing to do with what is important in their lives. And what I'm here to share with you is that from these examples, I've shown that we can sensitize students to people with disabilities. We can heal communities that have been impacted by social injustice and wounded, and we can develop alternative energy sources all through the classroom. Now imagine, following headline, 9-year-old student solves the debt crisis. Second grade student starts a company and provides jobs to over 200 people in her community. Elementary school solves drug abuse issues in their community. This is possible. Let us not wait until students graduate from college to start addressing these issues. Let's start addressing these issues in kindergarten and elementary school, and I guarantee you if we charge the students, they may actually develop some ideas that are worth sharing. Thank you.